I've just finished my book, Heart Drama, A Way to Beauty and Truth, which will be published any day now. And I'm returning to painting with some new clarity about my art. By art, I mean writing, therapy, and painting. These arts don't just overlap as I see it, but arise from the same essential landscape. My first painting I'm returning to the easel is Three Sisters of Grief. Visually, I've been attempting a kind of reverse anthropomorphism. Rather than attributing human qualities to animals, I use animals to portray inner human struggles. To consider the imagery here, this is a burdened Bruin under a moonlight that spills down out of the sky through the trees, becoming a rushing waterfall. It reminds me that grief can feel like a churning, ceaseless sadness, as pervasive as moonshine and seemingly permanent, eventually falling off into nothingness. Giving it a voice, it tells us we live deeply in the past and in the sorrow. It can feel like an alien force of nature is seeking to drown us. Jaak Panksepp, who researched and depicted the deepest mammalian emotional circuits, creating the field of affective neuroscience, understood that loss falls on us or wells up in us with an anxious anguish. But there's more to this drama. We notice the bear is separate from this panic grief flowing through the landscape. And we can hear the bear speaking from another emotional circuit, that of fear, focused on worries about the future. I will never have a love like this again. I'm desperate and afraid. I will always be alone. If the composition contained only the right side of the canvas, if this was our only view, we would be stuck, held between the polarities of fear of the future and a panicky sadness of the past. We can feel such stuckness intensely when a loving heart has been lost to us through death or other means. But there's a mysterious way in this heart drama. The three sisters in the painting are another point of view. They are more present, focused energies and potential healing forces. In creative mythology, Joseph Campbell mentions the Greek three graces, goddesses sometimes called charities. The graces, he writes, may be related to the old High German word for spindle. They are spinners, quote, by which the idea is suggested of a spinning and weaving of destiny, end quote. Of course, I'm not attempting to paint a myth that foretells our destiny. On the contrary, in a heart drama, as we become increasingly conscious of our inner drama, we become less destined to a certain fortune, good or bad. As we lovingly play on stage, we can imagine that these three sister goddesses don't weave the inevitable so much as remind us of the possible. I can see them as representations of our inspired self. We need their inspiration, creative sources arising from our core to remind us that we are all wide-eyed children. We are artists and lovers. We have the capacity to see beauty and truth. The world is beautiful. This place we were born into beats in time with our heart. We're not alien here. As important as the knowledge of beauty is our truth, which is being simply authentic and discerning. Such knowing beauty and truth can be tragically elusive for many of us who have been raised in this traumatized society. But the sisters remind me of a healing energy that arrives in grief and fear. Even in the darkest moments, there is the possibility of renewal. Standing off to the side until we are ready, they bring a promise. They say, if you can face what seems overwhelming, you will grow. They may also warn us that we lose our life by avoidance. Avoidance, denial, self-deception is a force like gravity that presses us to settle for a shallow understanding and low-quality connection. When we make such an exchange, we don't have to feel our suffering, or we can soften it. Children make such a bargain unconsciously in order to survive, because they have no choice. But as adults, there is another way for us to encounter our pain and to get to know our self-deception as we expand toward healing and growth. From the three sisters' point of view, we can step in and out of the suffering river. We can step into the frightened bear and then back to be an observer, to be here and there, to be a witness as well as the protagonist, as well as the elements of the landscape, to be the stillness or a cold dampness in the air. To enlarge into all the aspects of the inner drama requires a certain state of conscious awareness. Awareness goes by many names. Some will call it mindfulness or flow or deep attunement, or they deem it spiritual. This is a bit of what I discuss in my book and what I will explore in my paintings and further videos. Thank you for watching.